I learned how to do a kneeling back bend, which requires a lot of back flexibility, which is not really me. A handstand, which uses a lot of strength, which I do not have. And level 2, you have to do the round off, the back bend, the splits. I'm getting to the splits, not so much. Level 3, the back walkover, and level 4, the aerial, which is a no-handed cartwheel, a front walkover where you're walking over and you do the splits as you're going over, and then a front and back handspring. And all these things, they're gonna give you, in the higher levels, they're gonna put together the moves to create a series of stuff. And a lot of these things, like the front and back handspring, are gonna use to gain you speed to do the back tucks and back flips and front flips and all that interesting stuff that you'll see later on in the presentation. But first,
it is.
I wasn't sure.
Maybe it'll turn out good in memory.
Yeah,
sure.
Stretch with us. This is participatory. Come on. Running, you're exempt if you're running.
I am now.
We're trying to figure it out. We can't figure it out. It was working when I turned it off for yours, but then I just closed it up and came down here. I don't know if I touched something. Is it on night shift? No. I have no clue what it did.
It's 10 jumping jacks. And let's get started because you have to warm up all the muscles in your chest. Usually you would do about 50 or 100, but we're just gonna shorten that because of the time restraint. Then you're gonna start stretching out your legs and stuff. So just bend over and touch your feet. Hold that for a little bit and try to touch your head to your knees if you can. And then open up your legs a little bit and touch the ground. See how far you can go down. And then walk over with your hands to your right leg and try to hug your leg. And then do the same with your left. You can already feel that stretch, guys. Yeah. And then get on the ground. We're gonna do the straddle position. Just put your arms in front of you for this one, and just see how straight you keep the back as you stretch over.
Just pay back for those calculations. That feels good.
And then bring your arm over to your right leg. And then to your left leg. And then bring your legs in front of you. And bend over. And really feel that stretch, guys. Okay, now we gotta stretch out your back because that's really important. So just go into this position. You guys probably did this in yoga. Let's do that. And then bring yourself back out the other way. And now you're gonna lean forward and you're gonna stretch out your wrists because it's the first thing to get hurt when you're Okay, now that you did something fun, we get to do a little bit of math, which is also fun for some of you guys. For those of you who have taken calculus, you'll understand the derivative and the integral, but I'm not going to go into that because that would be kind of some time explaining that. Our real focus is going to be on this formula right here. And this is going to give you the position according to time, the negative 1/2 gravity times squared, plus v naught t, which is your initial velocity, and then x naught, which is your initial position. And that'll come in handy for the next slide. Gotta have this. So this is just me doing a cartwheel, you know, nothing special. It's okay. Okay, so what we did here, I did my initial little jump to get that little kick step. And what we did on Logger Pro, Mr. Abdullah and I, we tracked my center of mass to see how the curve would look. And it actually gave us this number for gravity, which is negative 5.033, which is extremely close to the negative 9.81. And we're just going to assume that it would be negative 10 divided by 2, and that would give you the negative 5. So I'm still following the laws of gravity, which, I mean, like, everybody has to, so can't really defy those. But what was interesting to me is as soon as I started the cartwheel, my center of mass was remaining in a completely straight line. And I was trying to understand this, and Mr. Abdullah was trying to help me understand this. And we figured out that when you're doing a cartwheel, you want to remain straight, vertically straight. And I have my arms out in front of you, but you'll see later on that you can actually start pulling your arms away and get the aerial cartwheel. However, I'm not that advanced. It took me quite a bit of hours to get up to this point. I could not do a cartwheel before. But what's interesting is you gotta keep your core in the same place, and you gotta keep a very straight body so that you're able to swing your legs around fast enough. And if you get that speed, you can go fast enough, and you don't even have to use your arms if you are able to propel yourself fast enough. And I am not able to do that. It takes quite a bit of practice. It is a level 4 gymnastic move, and I am currently on level 1, but I mean, you know, it's okay. But this girl, she was very impressive. Her and her friends have a YouTube account, and she is definitely very good at gymnastics. And she will do tutorials in case any of you guys want to learn a move. You can always check out their YouTube channel. I have the bibliography, but I will pass those out in a sec. So I don't know if you could tell, but she was keeping a really tight core, and she was swinging her legs around really fast. Her head pretty much stayed in the same position the whole entire time, and she's still getting this linear movement. However, she is jumping a bit, so she is, you know, getting a slight parabola. I was keeping my arms out, so it was giving me a more straight line. But the interesting thing about her is she was actually able to pick up enough speed to actually swing her legs around fast enough. I would not be able to do that. It takes quite a bit of muscle as well, and 100 hours definitely doesn't build up your muscle too much, you know, including research. But it's really interesting to see little girls do this. It is so impressive. But now we have Gabby Douglas, and you know, I know you were thinking this was me, but this is actually, I didn't make it to the Olympics, but I was close to it. And she is just amazing. This is her 2008 Olympics, and I'll just let you watch. So I don't know about you guys, but what I picked up is that she was able to use her handsprings and her back handsprings, and she was able to use those to bring herself into a backflip. So let me explain the physics behind that, because there are a little more difficult aspects to it, which I won't explain. I haven't gone into that level, but I will describe the basics, which is, what she's doing, she's starting off running, and she's picking up speed, and then she's going into her her handspring, and those are used to gain a lot more speed as well. However, if she stops one of those handsprings, she will completely lose any speed, so that's why the rebound is very important. You see her push off the board a lot, and also the board has springs in it. Usually the boards are foam for regular gymnastics, and those will not give you, as much spring, so you won't be able to do as many moves in a row. However, for the Olympics and higher level stages, they have spring-loaded boards, which helps a little bit with the rebound, so they can keep their momentum and their speed, and they get to build that up so that when they do get to the flip, they still have, enough speed. And the thing is, as soon as you leave the ground for your flip, you are not going to gain any more energy that you already have. So what you got to do is you got to conserve that energy. You can't waste it. So that's where the tight core comes in once again. And what that does is you're able to pull your body in tighter, and I can't do it because I'm wearing these skinny pants, which are not the best thing for gymnastics, but you're able to pull your legs in close enough to your abdomen, and you can get a smaller radius, so when you flip, you're able to turn faster, and you're going to be able to get those flips in a lot quicker. However, you can't just flip out of control. You got to land at one point or another. You still follow the laws of gravity. You're just using those laws. You have to manipulate them to how you like it. So that is basically the basic level of physics that you're going to get in gymnastics. One last thing, I'm going to have anybody who wants to, actually I'm going to have several people get on stage, and if you guys feel comfortable enough for me to spot anyone, the trickiest part about doing a cartwheel or doing a handstand or doing a back bend, let me just stick to the cartwheel, is that you need to be vertically straight, and the real hard part is being able to swing your hips around. So I will be able to spot the people that need their hips to be held, or anything that needs to be held, I'll be there for you. For handstands, you can keep your legs straight and work on your strength. And then for back bends, it's always scary trying to trust yourself as your knees bend and you're bending back. So it's nice when someone has the ability to support you as you bend over. So the rest of this time, we have about 5 minutes. If you guys want to get onto different parts of the stage and pair up and work on some gymnastic moves, and I'll walk around and spot people.
Yeah, Max.
You can't leave it. That's enough to scare you off? Oh, no, I can't. Okay. I was going to say Caroline and Max. Oh, yeah, that's not even for real back. Jose, the wrestling, it's got to help.
No, yes.
Come on.
I can't do a back bend. I know.
Can I try? Here, fine. Let me try. My mom can wait 30 minutes.
I cannot.
So I'm just turning up the lights. I think it's feels to me like all choppy because we kept this heavy. So doing nothing wrong. I buy my
The back one is crazy because you can't see what you're doing.
Once your butt's warm up, you're able to bend over, kick your legs over. Yeah. Oh, yeah, you can go. Walk your feet out.
She should feel really safe as long as got 1/3 of the stage.